2024 for the Age of Empires 2 community was a year of big ups and even bigger ups. We had top players becoming YouTubers, we had YouTubers becoming pro tournament casters, and we had a pro tournament caster land a job with Microsoft. The year started with people asking if the Viper was washed after spending 2 years streaming on Facebook, and it ended with players asking if the Viper was washed after having a baby. In 2023, forums were filled with complaints about monk balance. In 2024, the complaints turned to the Phosphorus-style all-in strategies. And in 2025, we will surely be coming back to monks, asking for them to be buffed against scorpions. All jokes aside, 2024 has felt very positive, and we have a lot to get through, but first I want to recognize the people that make this video possible. Happy Leaves is the person behind the terrific spectator dashboard who has put together a statistic-filled year in review. Paradox303, who many of you will remember from all the Nomad tournaments he has hosted and his podcast titled Spec Chat, has put together another community awards that will feature heavily in this video. And of course, the folks at Liquipedia also have a great statistics page where you can see how well each player has competed over the course of the year. Let's start breaking up the year with the tournaments. The tournament schedule was filled to nearly overflowing in 2024, with players receiving greater prize pools than ever before. There has been some sentiment of there being too many S-tier tournaments in the calendar, with concerns of viewer fatigue. In reality, the number of high-level tournaments has remained constant over the past few years. In 2024, however, the 1v1 tournaments overshadowed the team game tournaments due to how they were blocked in on the schedule. There is a possible trend forming of a decrease in team game tournaments, with a few possible factors. The first factor that people pointed to right away was when Hera joined Gamer Legion at the start of the year, creating what was seen as an unbeatable team. Wii Sports was to be the main competitor after they signed Leary and Hart in May. They had a decent showing in World Desert Championships 2, but were unable to defeat GL or the concerns of many fans. The second issue for team game tournaments is that they involve more work for the admins and provide less of a return on investment than a 1v1 tournament. I'm hoping the trend of decreasing team game tournaments does not continue, since watching the multi-point of view videos with team communication is some of the best AoE 2 content there is. I'm looking forward to the return of the 2v2 tournament, The Cartographers, in 2025. The Community Award for Best S-Tier Tournament in 2024 went to Red Bull Wololo El Reinado. It beat out NAC5 by a single vote. The highlights for me in the 3 tournaments pictured are getting to meet T90 and the US community at Hidden Cup 5, getting to hear the AoE 2 fanfare before the El Reinado finals, and all of the wonderful memes and wholesome moments that came out of NAC5.
Just everyone from the event coming together on the couch again and waving for the very last time, because yeah, obviously a lot of people ask, Nili, what's the future for you? And actually the very likely scenario is that I will start working in a mirror factory. I could see myself working there.
T90's return to Twitch from Facebook saw the return of Hidden Cup 5. The tournament hosted Evacuation, which won the Community Award for Best New Map. The map maker, Hank the Super Nerd, also made 2 other new maps in 2024, with Curacao for the World Desert Championships 2 and Life Buoy Atoll for Blue Carbon Cup 2. Over 100 Community Award voters made the mistake of thinking Stranded was a new map. It gained notoriety as one of the most exciting maps in Wandering Warriors Cup 2. However, it was actually celebrating its 10th birthday in 2024. That's right, it was created all the way back in 2014. It goes to show that there are some wonderful community-made maps out there that are just waiting for their chance in a high-level tournament. I also want to give a shout out to Menandy, made by Captain Nipples, also for the World Desert Championships 2. It came in 3rd in the Community Awards, and I recently showcased it in one of the few high-level 1v1 games that have been played on it so far. But the meta on the map is still far from figured out, so I'm looking forward to seeing where it's played in 2025. The community award for best A-tier tournament went to Wandering Warriors Cup 2, which won't be a surprise to many, as many would have thought it would be considered an S-tier tournament. However, the prize pool wasn't quite at that limit to be bumped up to the next level. Other great A-tier tournaments included Sudden Disaster, hosted by John Slow, which produced some of the funniest highlights of the year.
They're coming. Those aren't going to stop the petards. One petard only. He's through. Siscon will need to wall this off. He goes for another gate. One petard. He's through. Siscon needs to stop this. He's going for house walls. More house walls. One petard.
He could have made one more pass out there.
Siscon is dead.
And the Thalassocracy Cup, which gave us a peek at an up-and-coming player of the year who broke into the top 10. The community award for best B-tier tournament went to Town Center Tango, a 3v3 sudden death tournament. I'm hopeful that the community love for this tournament will lead to tournament hosts next year, adding additional team game tournaments to the calendar. There were 44 other B-tier tournaments last year, not to mention the 121 C-tier tournaments and 146 other tournaments. I have one additional shout out to give on the topic of tournaments, and that goes out to the Otter Ones tournaments. The deathmatch scene gets a fraction of the publicity of the random map and Empire Wars scenes. Nonetheless, the Otter One has been regularly hosting tournaments and one-day events throughout the year that have been very enjoyable to play and to watch.
And Funkyton's dead! Y'all killed Funkyton! We have the both people killing each other, the traps are still firing! Y'all killed him and he might still die! They're killing each other! It happened! It happened! Best snipe candidates here for Yarn and Funkyton! The traps moved forward, they took out each other in the finals!
The tournaments could not be successful without the host, admins, and casters. These members of the community set up Discord servers, publicize the tournaments, help schedule the players, organize the recorded games to avoid spoilers. They do so much behind the scenes. There are also all the folks that make up the Siege engineers who make so many of the tools that the tournament scene relies on. The community award for both tournament contributor and unsung hero goes to Arbase. Arbase has been an admin for many community tournaments, including Hidden Community Cup, T90 Community Cup, Wandering Warriors Community Cup, the Specialist Cup, and the Co-op Cup, and he has recently started working on pro events as well, including Regicide Rumble 4, Wandering Warriors Cup 2, and T90's Titans League. Special mentions go to Huehue Coyoto for hosting World Desert Championships 2 and Carbon Cup 2, with specifically the map scripting competitions for both tournaments. I personally had a fantastic time creating maps for both tournaments and would have never had the motivation if not for these competitions. And another special mention goes to Happy Leaves for continually updating Spectator Dashboard since 2022, which every tournament and caster relies so heavily upon. The community award for best caster in 2024 goes to Dave. Dave knows when to be personable and relaxed and when to drive up the energy, making him a favorite caster in the community. Special mentions go to Nilly, who the community gathered around as he hosted his last tournament in January 2024 with Nilly's Apartment Cup 5. His greatest achievement of the year, though, may have been his recent role at Microsoft, where he helped publish the long-requested tournament calendar. T90 has also remained a keystone figure in the community, consistently hosting tournaments that I think have the most interesting map pools, as well as advocating for the up-and-coming players in the scene. The community award for best up-and-coming caster goes to Daniela for the second year in a row. Daniela was the designated caster for Wii Sports in 2024 and casted most, if not all, of the Rage Forest tournaments. You can see how prolific Daniela has been with casting by looking at the year in review on Spectator Dashboard. Daniela casted an average of 3.5 games per day in 2024. Special mentions also have to go out to Ornlu, OGN Empires, MemTV, and Juan Perotti for their equally impressive casting stamina. The community awards for Most Improved Caster and for Best Map Scripter both go to T-West. T-West has been a prominent member of the community for years, providing help on Reddit detailing niche AoE 2 concepts in his YouTube videos and providing help in dozens of tournaments. His game knowledge is second to none, and it shows with his informative commentary and ability to craft exciting maps. His recent decision to quit his full-time job to pursue freelance work and dedicate more time to AoE 2 in 2024 has paid dividends for himself and the community. And shout out to the photographer. More of that photo shoot is on T-West's Twitter page. The community award for creativity goes to a pro player turned YouTuber. Near the end of 2024, Barles had a sudden burst of creativity and produced 21 Age of Empires 2 comedy videos in the span of 2 months. His content goes without fancy editing and cuts straight to the laughs for niche AoE 2 humor. The videos were an instant hit with the community, and I'm hoping we will see more from him in 2025. I also want to shout out Tiramis for the deep dive videos he has made this year. Many of you will be familiar with his role as the Viper's content editor, but he now has his own YouTube channel, and the quality of the content he makes on his own is equivalent to that of entire production teams. For example, his deep dive into Sebastian's rise into the top 10 was a very insightful and entertaining watch. Bien joué, Louis. Speaking of players, let's take a look at the new celebrities in 2024. Matza, aka Black Forest, made some names for himself, literally, as an off-meta player, but no player captured the imagination of so many quite like Red Phosphorus. His unconventional playstyle has entertained hundreds of thousands of viewers on T90's YouTube, and he's been the center of a significant amount of controversy over balance of units. The rebalance of Hussite wagons, organ guns, and ram garrison mechanics can all be somewhat attributed to his antics. Matza and Red Phosphorus were some of the most avoided or dodged players on the ranked ladder in 2024, since many other players don't want to play Age of Empires 2 in such a chaotic style. In terms of putting the hours in, Lewis is at the top with an average of 10 games played per day. His practice paid off though, as he rose from 2200 to 2800, sailed straight through his T90 Titans League League 4 silver bracket, and is now competing in TTL4 Gold League. Guki is another player that has improved very quickly, going from 2K to 2K4 over the course of the year. At just 16 years old, she became the top female player in the world after her tight victory over Gabby in the Queen's Clash 3 Gold League final in March. As of yesterday, she is also being promoted to TTL Season 4 Gold League. The most improved player in 2024, as voted by the community, is Sebastian. It's one thing to gain ELO, and another thing to bring home the trophies of multiple A-tier events. Sebastian won Sachs Cup, Thalassocracy Cup, and Copa Latinoamericana. In comparison, in 2023, he was hovering around the top 30, having been relegated from TTL2 Platinum and re-promoted in the following TTL3 Gold League. A special shout out goes out to ACCM, who has played consistently in 2024 and won his most prestigious trophy yet with Wandering Warriors Cup 2. Hart also played phenomenally in 2024, qualifying for every S-tier tournament. The Community Award for Best Player of the Year was also not much of a contest. Mr. 3K Elo brought home all 5 of the S-tier trophies in 2024. The Viper and Leary remain his biggest competitors in S-tier tournaments, but anything can happen when it comes to A-tier tournaments. Hera also recently released a video on who he considers to be the top 10 players of 2024, so go check that out if you're interested. The Community Award for the Best Series goes to the Relbo Wololo El Renado semifinals between Leary and the Viper. Let me give you a quick recap. It was a very close back and forth set. Leary took the early lead by winning many of the microfights in the first 2 games and limiting the mobility of Viper's Cav Archers. Game 3 on Depression was incredibly close, but the cheaper Kuman stables and archery ranges saw Viper outproducing Leary throughout the match. Game 4 on Dune Springs was a masterpiece, with the Viper surprising Leary with a Donjon Rush. Leary looked very lost against the strategy that took the community by storm in early 2024. Instead of adding monks, Leary stuck with 2 stable knights and was eventually overwhelmed by the sergeants. The deciding moment in Game 5 came when the Viper went full aggro in late Castle Age. Just as Leary invested all of his resources into clicking up to the Imperial Age, Viper showed up at his doorstep with Knights and long-range Khmer Scorpions. Game 6 showed that Leary's micro is still top tier, and he took the lead from the get-go, got the faster Castle Age time, and secured a quick win. In the final game, the decider of the set on Golden Stream, the Viper gave us another off-meta strategy. He picked Berbers against Leary's statistically better civilization, Armenians. After a fairly boomy game, both players arrived to Imperial Age on relatively similar footing. While Leary focused on control of the central gold and amphibious terrain, the Viper built up a forward base to the side of Leary's, completely negating the advantage Armenians would have on water. Leary's slower units were outmaneuvered by the Berber cavalry, giving the Viper a hard-fought comeback victory in the set. All of the top 5 series from 2024, as voted by the community, are linked in the description if you want to watch them back. And finally, we get to the hot goss for the year, all of the drama in 2024. In 5th place, by community vote, was Grathrang's claim on Twitter that water maps are responsible for viewership falloff. The Twitter debate spilled over into other media platforms, creating a swamp of arguments. In 4th place was Team Vietnam, receiving an admin loss in a match against Team Argentina for illegally slinging resources in Sax Nations Cup, and eventually losing the set. In 3rd place is Freaking Andy, complaining about players picking Gray, and Dogal replying, "Go cry to your mama and host it." And 2nd place is the Stan Ground Patrol Micro debate, following a match in the finals of El Reinado, where Hera kept Frank Paladins in a windmill of death that, at the end of the day, could not defeat Viper's superior map position. And in 1st place, with the biggest drama of the year, which also created my favorite image or meme of the year, we have the What's Your Elo debate from World Desert Championships 2, involving Acro17 and the players on the Wii Sports team. I already made a deep dive video explaining everything that happened in detail, and since then, every tournament has had an additional private channel in their Discord designated for player feedback to avoid a repeat of the virtual street brawl. I know this video is already very long, so I'll end it with some wild predictions for 2025. First, I think Hera and the Viper will continue their streak of getting knocked out early in A-tier tournaments. Second, I think a role-playing group will begin to make AoE 2 role-playing content. I have no idea who or when or what, but it just feels like there's a gap there, and everyone's always looking for new content to put out there. And third, I think a native Argentinian will win an A-tier tournament in 2025. My wish list for 2025 is maybe a bit of a pipe dream, but I would like infantry to be a little bit more viable in Castle Age, and for a lobby system that keeps your party between matches so you don't have to consistently reinvite your friends. A big thank you goes out to all of the community for a wonderful 2024, and may your 2025 see you push 2 deer at once, kill 0 boars with your TC, win 2 matches for every loss, and collect 5 relics every match. Many, if not all of the people I mentioned in the video are linked in the description, so go follow, subscribe, and congratulate them. Until next time, I'll see you in the comments.